Hello everybody, this is a video on rebuttals to when Muslims they tell you that we love Christians and Christians are our brothers, Christians are our cousins, we love Jesus, we love this, we love that. This is going to show you that what they are saying is actually taqiyya and we are nothing to them and we are in fact worse and we are like cattle. In fact, the word here that I use, ulaika kal anami. What does this mean?
كالأنعام.
If we go to Google Translation, actually it's like cattle, like a cow. And so we will go to the tafsir of this verse. We will go to the famous Ibn Kathir. And he says, they do not hear truth, but we cannot comprehend it. We are like cattle. And his saying, maybe exalted guidance, are like grazing cattle that do not benefit from the senses except in what they live of the apparent life of this world. So their example in the case of their being called to faith is that they are deaf, dumb, and blind. So as Christians, we are being seen as stupid and deaf and blind. He also doubles down and says we are like worse than the cattle and we are more astray as animals. This is because animals understand what they are created for. So we are actually worse than cattle. So animals are more perfect than him. So animals are more perfect than us, Christians. The Quran doubles down on this in chapter 25 verse number 44. Again, in chapter 25 verse number 44, it doubles down and says Kalanami.
كالأنعام.
And it says that we are only like cattle. If we just go onto Google Images, we will see what we are presented as in Islam because we do not understand how a pedophile can be a prophet. Isn't it true in chapter 9 verse 28 that we are now seen as mushrik and Najis? It says, إِنَّمَا مُشْرِكُونَ نَجَسٌ. In fact, this means that indeed the polytheists are dirty. And I would have Google translated this for you. But instead, I think that Al-Baghawi has the perfect translation. The polytheists are unclean. His saying may be exalted. Unclean, this word here will be najas, means filthy. It was also said vile. It is a verbal noun that is the same, masculine, feminine, and plural. We are filthy. We are vile because we are non-Muslim kuffar. If we go to Al-Tabri's, of the same verse, we are counted as the mushrik because he says, prevent the Jews and the Christians from entering the mosques of the Muslims. Indeed, the polytheists are unclean. So here we are counted as mushrik and we are dirty, we are unclean. But not only this, this is going to get so much worse because he actually says that do not shake hands with them, and whoever shakes hands with them should perform ablution. If you are not familiar with what ablution is, this is called wudu, and this is when Muslims they clean themselves to remain spiritually clean. What Al-Tabari here is saying is that whoever touches a kuffar, a mushrik, a Jew, or a Christian, you must wash yourself and perform ablution. This is what we are seen as. We are seen as cattle, we are seen as dirty, and we are seen as najas, which is, as Al-Tabari said, filthy. This is what we are seen as, and this is important for you to know, because when the lying Muslims use their taqiyya against us, you will know what they are doing. If we go to Al-Qurtubi, we can read with me here. Said, no polytheist may approach the sacred mosque unless he is a taxpayer or disbelieving slave belonging to a Muslim. So unless you are paying the tax, the jizya, which is only paid so that you feel humiliated, or you are disbelieving slave, so you want to be a slave of the Muslims, you cannot go anywhere near the mosque. And also what he says is that somebody said that Jews and Christians are not prevented from entering the mosque or any other mosque, and only polytheists and idolaters are prevented from entering the sacred mosque. Sounds nice, right? Wait. This opinion is refuted by everything we mentioned from the verse and other sources. Christians and Jews are kuffar, they are dirty, they are najis, they are disgusting. So when the Muslims they say, no, you are nice, you are our cousin, you are our brother, you and us, we have not much indifference. Remember these things. This is what they are lying to you about, and this is what they are keeping from you. Not only this, I brought this up to a sheikh before, and it's going to say, do not greet the Jews and Christians before they greet you, and when you meet any of them on the roads, force him to go to the narrowest part of it. The narrowest part in the olden days was actually the sewage. So what Muhammad he is saying, says here, Allah's Messenger is saying, is that you should push the Christians and the Jews into the sewage. And also, you cannot say Assalamu alaikum to a Jew or a Christian. This, if you say this to a Muslim, immediately what they're going to say is, yes, this is specific because Jews used to say something similar to Assalamu alaikum, which was actually, may death be upon you, and so we can only say wa alaikum to you. This is not saying that. This is saying do not greet. So don't start the greeting. Do not initiate the greeting with the Jews or the Christians. And also show me a Christian who said, wish death be upon you to Muhammad. They didn't. So why are we being persecuted? And also they claim to be the religion of peace when they can't even wish peace upon people. Muslims, they say to you Christians and Jews that you believe in God, so you will go to heaven with us. This is a big fat lie. As it says in Sahih Muslim, this is Sahih, anyone who has heard about Muhammad does not affirm his belief in that will be one in hell. So if you hear about Muhammad, for example, me, I read the Quran. I don't think that I personally agree with Muhammad having however many sex slaves, however many wives, being a rapist, being a pedophile, being a warlord, being a murderer, being a liar, stealing people's underpants. And, these things, and now I'm going to hell. Muhammad is the most stupid man. And remember all these things. I'm giving you the reference to all of them. I want to finish, sort of, with this point, and that is that Muhammad, he said, do not exaggerate in praising me, as the Christians praise the Son of Mary, talking about Jesus. For I am only a slave, so call me the slave of Allah and his apostle. I'm not sure why anybody would exaggerate somebody who cannot even perform miracles. I want to turn, chapter 29, verse number 50. If only some signs had been sent down from his Lord. Say, O Prophet, signs are only with Allah, and I am only sent with a clear warning. What is happening here is people are asking Muhammad for a sign, for a miracle. And this does not just happen on this occasion. This is going to happen in chapter 17, verse number 59 as well. Nothing keeps us from sending the signs except that they had already been denied by earlier peoples, and we gave the Sheikh as a clear sign. We only send the signs as warnings. Okay, so Muhammad, he's making excuses over and over again. And also, in chapter 13, verse number 38 as well, it was not for any messenger to bring sign without Allah's permission, and he has never brought one. And chapter 13, if we go to the Muslim sources, let's go to the revelation order of chapter 13. This is the 96th chapter that Muhammad he received. If you didn't know, the Quran is not revealed in chronological order, but in the chapter 13 is the 96th, so he's almost dead. His prophethood is almost over, and he still hasn't brought a miracle. So I want to ask, why would anybody exaggerate somebody who can't even bring a miracle? So when Muhammad he says to us not to exaggerate Jesus to God, we don't believe this because of what he said. We believe this because of what he did. Any Muslim, I want to ask them, who can forgive sin? It's only God, am I right? Only God can forgive sin. So let's go to Mark 2, where a paralyzed man, he was brought to Jesus. Jesus, he saw the faith, and he said to the paralyzed man, son, your sins are forgiven. Who can forgive sins? Only Jesus, am I correct? The Jewish leaders then were shocked and started to say, he is blaspheming. Who can forgive sins but God alone? Which is what the Muslims will say as well. So Jesus, he just said this. So anybody can say your sins are forgiven, anybody. Jesus then, he didn't deny being God. And then he proves he has the authority by telling him to get up off your mat and go home. And the paralyzed man who's been paralyzed for all of his life just got up and went. Everybody then said, we have never seen anything like this. But my point is, Muhammad, he cannot forgive sins. Muhammad cannot raise the dead. Muhammad cannot heal the blind. Yet he tells his followers not to do to him what the Christians do to Jesus. If Jesus can forgive sins, raise the dead, and create life, then the Christians aren't exaggerating. We are telling the truth of what the gospel says. Once again, Muhammad is caught out in a lie, and this is what we are seen as to the Muslims.